I want to talk about this camera here today, the Sony A7 III, and is this thing still worth buying? April 10th, 2018 was the release date for the Sony A7 III. What I think is arguably their most important camera. This is really what started to put Sony on the map, especially for mirrorless cameras. These tend to go on sale a lot, and I was actually highly considering buying one myself. It's 24 megapixels, shoots 4K 24 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames and 120 frames. Super quick autofocus. It even holds up to some cameras today. Sony in low light is excellent, and this is still an excellent low light camera. Capable of S-Log3, and it's full frame. Most of these specs on a 2024 camera would still be considered really good. Now, for some of the parts where it shows this camera's age a little bit. Number one, it's the older Sony menu system. What I like about a lot of the newer Sony cameras is the menu system is super easy to use, at least in my opinion. The older menu system on this, best I can relate it to is this is an older Android where you have a ton of options, ton of menus, everything like that. The Canons, those menu systems are more like Apple, where it's super clean, easy, simple to use. And the newer Sony cameras are kind of like a Google menu system where it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, but you still have a ton of customization. Hopefully that makes sense. Spot number two that it shows its age. The screen is only tilt. It doesn't fully articulate. If you're shooting yourself like I am right now, you can't see yourself. So I have an A7 III as a B cam right now, A7 IV is the hero camera. The only difference with them right now is I did not put the A7 III in S-Log, it's in S-Cinetone. I should have done either S-Log on both of them to match it, or no picture profile on both to match it. Because I think right now, that one is on the A7 III is no picture profile, A7 IV is on S-Cinetone, so the colors are gonna look a little bit different, but it's gonna get the job done. Anyway, on the A7 III, which is the B cam, I cannot see myself at all because the screen does not flip around. So I kept having to, I could either plug in a monitor like I have here for the A7 IV, but that uses micro HDMI and I only have a full-size HDMI cable, so I can't plug in the monitor to that. If you're gonna be doing a lot of talking head videos like this for yourself, then either get a monitor and the correct HDMI cable so that way you can use it, or possibly look at a different camera that has a fully articulating screen. And number three, this is not a touchscreen, which I feel like even in 2018, you kind of expected it to be a touchscreen, but it's not. You can touch to focus on here, but for the menu system or for changing your settings or anything like that, this is not a touchscreen. Now, despite all of that, this camera is still, to this day, a very good choice for a camera. It still produces excellent quality images for photo and video, and for most people, it's more than enough to get done what you need to get done. What I would do, what I'm thinking, is if your focus is more on photos, then the A7 III, especially if you can find one on sale, this is a great choice. 24 megapixels, very quick autofocus, Sony's E-mount system, especially if you're posting it on social media and things like that, you don't need a 30 or a 60 megapixel camera. People's phones aren't gonna show that much. Now, if you're doing more video work, then that makes it a little bit more tricky. For me, I kinda like the option of having 4K 60 available. I also really like shooting in S-Cinetone. Doesn't require as much grading as S-Log3, so it can be done a lot quicker and I can pump out more edits. And there are times when I'm shooting video and I do wish I had a screen that flipped out all the way. There's a lot of times where this screen just doesn't cut it. And I'm not even talking about just when I'm shooting myself. I'm talking also about when I'm shooting a client. I just want to show that quick flip. This is what you look like in camera right now, something like that. This one, I don't have that ability to do that. So for photo, A7 III, still a great option. For video, A7 III, a really good option. But I think some of the newer cameras might be the way to go, unless it's a B cam. I'll have a couple affiliate links in the description if you don't mind. If you're gonna pick something up, click on one of those. And if there's other videos that you wanna see, let me know, because I'm trying to get out here more consistently.